Major League Journeymen. How was that, dude? Was that good?
That's
No.
really good. I
Was
like
that good?
the
Honestly,
sarcastic undertone.
yeah, there needed to be because obviously I don't even want to call him, our fearless leader, our immaculate
No,
host. He's not.
no,
He's
no.
not because he prioritizes fun and family and spring break over us, and I don't like that because guess what? Daniel Gargan, who is not here in case people haven't figured that out yet. It is my spring break too. My kids are on spring break, and guess who's here, Gordo? You and me. All right.
Yeah.
And we're doing it.
And
And producer Sam, she's here too. All right.
and when we started this, we said Major League Journeyman first, family
At
or
least
God second, family, and then
family,
kids.
kids, wife third. And
And
yet,
it's
what do you think
BS.
he does? It's not cool, but I think that I introed Major League Journeyman better than he has in
Yeah. No, I
years.
like it. I like it. Yeah.
Good. Okay. We might run with that going forward. Maybe I'll just take over hosting duties. Maybe he's just like a pinch hitter sometimes.
Listen, dude, when the lineup is this strong,
Yeah.
you can't take games off because somebody's going to take your spot. And
They sure will.
that's just the way it goes.
Except for you and Bruce Arena and Edson Buttle, you just couldn't take a spot.
No,
You
never
just
going to
couldn't
take
do
the
it.
spot.
That
No.
was a great story, dude. We're gonna have some fun on this pod because the grumpy cat Gargs is away. So the fun little mice, Dax and Gordo. We're gonna play. We're gonna have some fun. All right. So we'll go through a quick rundown of some MLS stuff. I want to just catch everybody up on what's going on. We give our takes on the unbeaten teams, the perfect teams in Major League Soccer, LAFC, and the Vancouver Whitecaps. And then the teams that don't have a win. There's three of them: St. Louis, Columbus, Philadelphia Union. I think we need to chop it up and just kind of give our overall take on is it all doom and gloom for those teams, or is it going to be perfect all year for Vancouver LAFC? Probably not. But let's jump in, dude.
I think we should jump in, but let me just say, Dax,
Go
I just want to
say
give
what you
you I
want.
want to give you some I want to give you some love. If our listeners are not tuning in to MLS 360, Dax, I think you have grown in 1 year.
Oh,
And
buddy.
I mean, you are doing really well, buddy. The way that you break down games and analyze them, and I think you're a must watch, bud. So I think that
Dude,
our listeners need to tune in, man. You're doing a great job. I just want to give you some props.
you know what, man? If I wasn't so sunburned right now, you would see me blushing. It would be the red,
You are great.
the red would be me blushing and not the sunburn that I pick up constantly down here in the Sunshine State. But I really appreciate it, buddy. I definitely feel like we've grown, not just like me personally, but I think as a group, we've grown. And it's a little unfortunate that Sash and we aren't ever on a show together because we're
Yeah.
switching weekends going back and forth. But I feel personally like I've grown a lot just in these first couple of weeks just by getting to call games and being in stadiums and being able to go into detail more. You know how it is in studio that you got a producer in your ear like wrap it up
It's
15
hard.
seconds and I'm like I've
Yeah,
got
it's hard.
17 things I want to say and this is my
Yeah.
biggest issue the whole time is I constantly I ramble, right? And so
Yeah.
when you got a lot
Well,
of stuff in the head.
you're the perfect man for the job. And what you did in your MLS career, it's really hard to take what made you great in your playing career, which is diligency, like just being a professional, showing up, working hard, being the first one there, being prepared. That's why
Yeah.
you were chosen captain a lot of squads you played on. And it just shows like the preparation that you have walking in or going into these shows. It's probably really hard because you have all this knowledge and you retain it. I can't like you could tell me a name right now and I would forget it in 30 seconds. Like literally in 30 seconds, it's out of my brain. And that's just how my brain works through all the concussions and
I was
the,
gonna say probably a lot of undiagnosed concussions. And look,
for sure.
I love you because you're still with us right now. You're a functioning adult, but
Yeah.
also
I
you
got
make
10
up
years.
you make up words here and there. I think diligency probably not a word, but we're just gonna
Yeah.
roll with it,
No,
right?
yeah, it's fine. It's my word. And it makes
It's your
sense to
word.
me.
It is
And
your.
there's
It does.
other people,
But it made sense to me. I got it.
yeah,
I got
and
it.
there's other people out there like me, all right? And that's why
They
they're
sure
tuning
are.
in right now.
They're so special. There are special fans and supporters. Dude, we've actually grown a lot, man. Honestly, the first couple episodes we've got thrown out some social media clips and hits, and we keep growing. This thing has been a grind. It's difficult when all three of us are balancing the work-life balance, families, jobs, kids, all of
Spring
that.
break.
And spring break, Gargs, thanks. And dude, to be fair, I feel like try to give us a little credit here. We've taken some time off, but we've come back and we still have some great support. People interacting with us on YouTube, on social media. So we appreciate everyone out there. Keep doing it. Keep giving us your feedback. If you love us, if you hate us, if you want to hear certain things, let us know. So
Absolutely.
let's dive right in, buddy. We got the two perfect teams in Major League Soccer right now: 4-0-0, the Vancouver Whitecaps and LAFC. Both of them have looked dominant at times. Both of them have looked a little bit unconvincing at times, but we sit here. They're both on 12 points, sitting atop the Supporter Shield standings. LAFC hasn't conceded a goal this year. So I'll take. I know you've watched a little bit of Vancouver recently. What do you make of the Vancouver Whitecaps? How do you feel about their chances to continue to stay perfect? But I think more bigger picture, how do you feel about their Supporter Shield chances?
I feel really good. I mean, it's going back to all the things that we talked about them last year that we liked at the end of last season, where they really caught form. I mean, such a balanced squad. I feel
Yeah.
like they have all the pieces. They have speed on the wings. They have a really good midfield, two sitting holding midfields, and they got a Romer and Mueller, and they have a
Yeah.
finisher. They have a finisher in Brian White. Brian White probably is the guy that gets the least amount of attention. Maybe I'm wrong, because he is a goal scorer,
He's
but
underrated for sure.
he's underrated. I mean, this guy's got over 100 goal contributions since
Yeah.
he's been there, which is an all-time leader. Thanks for that stat, Miss
Bang.
Samantha. And but dude, he's a poacher. And what do you need to make deep runs and to win support shields? You need a goal scorer, and he's proven to be that. And he doesn't. It's like some strikers, and I know this for a fact, will get frustrated when they don't have the ball, right?
Yeah.
He never gets frustrated. He knows his role. He stays up there and he scores goals. And so I just love how balanced they are. And they're, dude, they got speed. I mean, when they played Minnesota United, man, they were getting in behind left and right.
Yeah,
Minnesota,
they blitzed him.
yeah, they looked pretty bad, to be honest. Their back line was not organized. However, they're still getting those chances. And they look great. Are they going to stay perfect? No, they're going to have some up and downs, but with a balanced squad like this, and maybe you can speak a little bit about the depth of their roster, which I don't really know about, but
Sure.
that's really where supporter shields happen, is the depth.
Yeah.
So if one of these guys goes out, what do they have? And that's going to be the difference. In your opinion, who's got the deeper squad? I know both of these starting 11s
Yeah.
are really good. Who's got the deeper squad in your opinion?
Um, I, I gotta be honest, man. I think LAFC has a little bit more depth, but I want to caution that by saying a little bit more proven depth. Okay, you still have a guy like Jacob Schaffelberg who's coming back from injury, who we haven't seen this year, and yet, they're perfect. They're getting goal contributions from different players. David Martinez, who's kind of won that starting right winger job next to Bawanga and Son up top, and he's been
Absolutely.
fantastic. He's got 3 game-winning goals already this year. Scored an absolute banger in CONCACAF Champions Cup last night against Ala Valencia to
This is his
win that.
breakout year,
Yeah, for
100%.
sure. And so look, Vancouver for me is such a well-balanced team. I love how you described them, and they have a top two coach in Major League Soccer. Jesper Sorensen is brilliant. That was such a great find for that front office. He just constantly gets the best out of his teams, no matter what. Doesn't matter who's injured, who's unavailable. I had to kind of pick them apart and it for MLS Countdown last weekend, and it's really hard to do because they're so
Yeah.
good. But if I see a roadblock, if I see a stumbling block for them that potentially down the road, it's for some reason, dude, I just feel like they're constantly dealing with injuries. They are. I don't know if it's the turf. I'm not really sure, but they are constantly dealing with injuries to important players. Whether it's Ryan Gauld, who we still haven't seen this year. He had a big injury last year, came back for MLS Cup, and now he's injured again. Not sure when he's going to return. In the back line, tons of injuries. Veselinovic is still out. Atakubi's still out, and they just find a way. Tristan
Yeah.
Blackman has dealt with his injury issues in the past, and so I would say my biggest concern with Vancouver is just like their depth is young, unproven talent, but really talented players. Guys like Jivan Bodwal, Ryan Illumi, guys that you might not have heard of, Gordo, but I promise you, you watch them and you see how they fill in, and you say to yourself, these are really talented young players, and now it's about what is that sustained consistency going to look like for them moving forward, because you know that Sabi is going to get you goals and assists. You know that Muller is going to score. You know Brian White's going to score. But what does it look like behind them when they need to rotate? When they need, when maybe they're missing players because of injury? It's just a matter of those young players taking the next step. But I love Vancouver. But if you ask me which team has a better chance to win the Supporter Shield, it's probably LAFC. I just think that they have a little bit more proven quality depth behind their starters, and they have a midfielder who in Eustáquio, Steven Eustáquio, the Canadian international, who's come in and he gives them a little bit something different in midfield. Now, that being said, they still struggle to create chances from open play if they're sitting against a low block. They still can kind of get lulled into a little bit of a half court game at times, right? A half field game where, they'll sit a little bit deeper because they're so good defensively, but then the other team they're playing against will sit deeper and they won't really have a lot of ideas. If you can't get Son and Bouanga and Martinez in behind, and there's only so many times you can rely on David Martinez scoring a banger, right? Like this guy's scored golazos to win them a couple of games this year, and eventually that will dry up. You need to have repeatable chance creation. So without Eustáquio, they just kind of look like they don't have ideas, and that for me is what I think will have them struggle if they go behind early in games. But man, you play 4 games in MLS, Gordo, and you don't concede a goal. There's
That's pretty
not
good.
there's not really a lot for me to nitpick about. Both of these teams are excellent, and both of them are going to have a say in the Supporter Shield race. I think LAFC might have the slight advantage. Vancouver, though, they're down 3-0 to Seattle in CONCACAF Champions Cup. They have to go to Seattle tonight to play that return leg. So they might, unless they overturn a crazy deficit, they will most likely be focusing just on MLS play.
Yeah.
LAFC advanced. They will have to deal with CONCACAF Champions Cup play. So that eventually both of these teams are going to lose. I think that Vancouver might have the schedule advantage, but LAFC might have the depth advantage.
I'll tell you what is one thing for me. In my career, I always found it a lot harder to play at Vancouver than most places. I
Of
think that
course,
they have the edge in home field advantage. I don't know what their home record was last season,
very good.
but I mean, dude, and you saw them against Minnesota. They just once you get in that spin cycle in that place for some reason, it's so hard to get out of.
They
And
smell blood in the water. They just keep going.
they really do. And even teams that were a lot less talented than they currently have, and they just put it on you. And there's just something about that venue that and the turf and everything else that really makes it tough. So I think if I was going to give them a slight edge, I would give them a slight edge for that reason.
Yeah, it makes sense. Let's take it to the other side of the table, buddy. Something that you might know about.
Tell
We
me.
have 3 teams in Major League Soccer right now without a win. Couple surprising ones in the East. I got to be honest. Columbus, they've got 2 points, 2 losses, 2 draws, and you have the Philadelphia Union, 0 wins, 0 draws, 4 losses. Now, that's in the East. In the West, it's St. Louis City, who have a draw. They were only on 1 point, no wins, they have 3 losses. So the only team I want to get your take on of those 3 teams, who you're most concerned about, but also kind of maybe if you have like some advice and a story about how, maybe you started a season not so great and what came of it.
So Philly, St. Louis,
Columbus.
and Columbus. Wow. You know what?
Surprising, huh?
I am really glad to see Columbus down there. They've had too much success lately. Everybody needs a season where you feel like they're feeling right now. And I've been on both sides. I've been on both sides of it. I've been on
Yeah.
teams that get off to a really hot start, and I've definitely been on teams that are struggling the first 4 games. Those are lonely days, my friend.
Yeah,
Those
that
are
sucks.
lonely days. It's like, thinking that you're going to be a good fighter. Every year we have this, every team you're playing in preseason and you're getting riled up and you guys it's just your team, right? And you guys have these lofty goals, whether it's a new
Yeah.
coach and new system or anything like that. Or sometimes you can feel it. You're like, dude, we're gonna get pumped this year.
Yeah.
We either one. But when you go out to get it in the first round, you get knocked in the teeth. It becomes really real. So,
Yeah.
um, you know, what happens in those moments, it's going to come down to, I'm not worried about Columbus. For all the reasons I said, I'm glad
Yeah.
that they're going through some struggles. They've also seen a lot of success, and they still have a lot of players that are rolling over from the successful years. They're going to
Yeah.
figure it out, but
Yeah.
they're going to get together. They're going to say, "Hey, we can do this." They're going to have that belief. Um, Philly's going to do the same thing, but they have a new coach in there. They did a lot better with
Col
the new coach last year.
yeah. Columbus has the new coach, Henrik Rudstrom, and Philly still obviously running it back with Coach of the Year, Bradley Carnell. Second year going now.
Right. So I mean, they've been there. I guess the new coach. There's going to be a lot of question marks on him because they've been successful with other people at the helm
Yeah.
prior to him. Philly.
Philly, I'm
They're all
concerned,
wor-
man.
they're
Concerned,
they're
Gordo.
all worrisome. But we were really high on them. They have the same players. I think they'll figure it out. St.
Uh,
Louis. I don't know. You go ahead. You tell me.
Philly, look, man, I've got big concerns about Philly, and the problem isn't so much the style of play or the coaching. I still like Bradley Carnell. He doesn't just magically turn into a poor coach overnight.
Yeah.
We're talking about someone who's won MLS Coach of the Year two different occasions for two different teams, but now he's going into it. When he went into his second year with St. Louis, they really struggled, and he ended up getting fired, and that's why he was available now for Philly when they moved on from Jim Curtin. You bring in Bradley Carnell, and he's got this amazing ability to come in and just take a team to another level. And now they're struggling again in his second year. And this time around, I want to give Bradley Carnell a little bit of grace because they honestly, Gordo, they turned over a lot of that roster. And a big part of it is some of the players that they lost. They lost three key players. Ty Baribo, one of the best strikers in Major League Soccer. Kai Wagner, a lot of people might argue he was the best left fullback in MLS, bar none, right? Jordi Alba, okay, of course. You have a couple guys who had some really good years last year, but Kai Wagner, he was pretty consistently the best left back in Major League Soccer during his time in Philly. And then Jakob Glesnes, who you just sang his praises for the LA Galaxy and what a great signing that was for them. Well, Philly lost that quality.
Yeah.
So I look at those three losses specifically for the Philadelphia Union, and the replacements and the players that they have brought in have not been even close to the level required to match their quality and to help Philly get through this rough patch. And so there are a couple different things going on in Philly that I'm concerned about, but namely, the first one is just creativity. That they are bereft of ideas in the final third. And if you remember Philly, this is a team who won second balls, they win duels, they fight, they scrap. I mean, you talk about how hard it is going to Vancouver. Think about how hard it is to go to Philly and play and get a result. Well, that's not so much the case right now this year because they're just really struggling. They look a little bit disjointed in their press. And Kai Wagner, to go back to that point about how creative he was as a left fullback, they lose his service and his quality going forward. So Ty Baribo also probably needs to be in the Brian White underrated discussion because of what he was able to do with Philly. And look at him now, in my opinion, probably a worse team in DC United, and yet he's still finding ways to score goals and win games for DC United. So I think this is a matter of Philly replacing those really important players, but maybe the players they replace them with need more time to gel, need more time to adapt. I'm not really sure. And Gordo, we don't need to get into it now, but their sporting director, Ernst Tanner, he's been on leave by Major League Soccer because of some,
Yeah.
remarks that he has said and that he has been accused of. And so I just don't know who really is making all the decisions right now in Philly. All of it seems a little bit lack of leadership from top to bottom right now.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So here's where, in my opinion, here's where number one, here's where your coaches earn their paycheck. Okay,
Sure.
here's where the guys that you hired earn their paycheck. Everybody can be a good coach when things are going well and you're rolling.
Yep.
It's easy, right? The locker room has high spirits. Here's where the true test of a coach and how you're managing your players comes into play.
Yep.
And how have you built your roster? Here's where I think that we've had this discussion even with you in Atlanta off camera. When you get to a certain age, there's a lot of organizations that will just write you off. But
Yeah.
there's a real need for veteran leadership in locker rooms, and this is the moment, right? This
Yeah.
is the moment when you're 0-4 and your coach, can he get the belief? Can he keep the belief of a squad that is, that is losing, a lot of those games? You know who did that best? And we keep going back to it, Bruce Arena. Okay,
Yep.
Bruce Arena is infamous for starting slow and winning championships at the end of the game because he never panicked. He always had that sense of arrogance that he knew his team was going to
He'd
be
get it
good that
right.
we've talked about, and he got guys to believe. So, which of these three coaches is going to be able to do that? I can't say that. You can't say that either, but it's going to be telling.
Yeah.
One or two of these teams is going to have a really poor season. They're never going to be able to get out of it.
Yep.
And one of these teams is going to figure it out. They're not going to panic. They're going to, stick to the system that they started the season with, and they're going to maybe get hot towards the end and maybe make a playoff run. Maybe it's 2 out of 3, but one
Sure.
of these teams won't be able to do it. And that to say says a lot to me for the leadership and the coaching within that club.
I agree, Gordo. I think that the Eastern Conference teams, I think Columbus and Philly, they're going to find a vein of form at some point. I just
Yeah.
think that they have talent on their rosters, and Bradley Carnell's a good coach. Bradley Carnell's a good coach. I think he's going to find a way to get Philly out of this. And I don't think they're going to win any trophies this year, but I don't think they're going to be as bad as they've shown. Columbus, they've got more talent and they've got good players on their roster. Wessam Abu Ali and Diego Rossi are still a very fearsome attacking duo, right? And so I really like Sean Zawatsky. So they have pieces, and it's just on Rudstrom, their coach, to figure it out. St. Louis for me, Gordo, is a really tough one. That's a really tricky one, and I'll try to give you some color and some background on what's going on with St. Louis. I hopped on a St. Louis radio show yesterday, and I had to talk about this, and it was really tough. So I don't really want to get it too much into detail, but they asked me, what do you see as the biggest issue going on with St. Louis right now? And I said, well, let's forget about the fact that the on-field stuff is tough. Okay, their best player, Edu Leuven, a midfielder, um, he has been missing games a couple times last year. He's been missing training sessions. I don't know if you heard about this story, Gordo, but he was dealing with his wife who had cancer, and she just passed away from cancer a couple of weeks ago. And so I don't want to go into too much detail because I don't know enough, and I don't think it would be fair to speak on it. And also, I would probably get emotional talking about it as obviously a father, as a husband, you as well. I've never experienced in my entire career a teammate who went through something like that. I can't even imagine what that experience, how that reverberates around a locker room. This is a brotherhood. This is a family, right? You have your
Yeah.
family and then you have your soccer family. And
Yeah.
so if one of my teammates went through something so difficult and so hard as that has to be, it would affect me.
Yeah.
It would affect everyone. And so I want to be totally fair to St. Louis in at least acknowledging the stuff they're going through off the field right now has to be incredibly difficult. So
Sure. Well,
that
there's two ways you deal with that, Dax. I mean, AJ De La Garza, his son Luca passed away in
sure.
2014, and we rallied around him. I've never, I want to give him a shout out, and it does
Yeah.
make me emotional too. We were torn up, dude. We didn't know what to say to the guy.
Yep.
Him and his wife Megan handled it with such grace, like beyond. It's just like in those moments, it's beyond what you can imagine yourself
Sure.
dealing with, right? And we rallied around him, and I think it was a catapult for us to win the MLS Cup in 2014. But you're right, you don't know what to say. It depends on that player, how important he is, how he's dealing with it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times you don't know what to say to somebody, especially somebody
It's
that's close to you. It's
it's great color,
impossible.
Gordo. That's great context, honestly, because I had forgotten about AJ and about Luca, and I remember that push and how upsetting it was, and how eventually, when the dust settled, you guys did rally around him. And so I can only hope that at some point the St. Louis team can do the same thing. And
Yeah.
look, on field, Edward Leuven is one of the best midfielders in Major League Soccer. When he is healthy and when he is fit, he is a game changer. So he will change things for them if he does
Yeah.
play again and when he gets back on the field. But St. Louis, they're going through a transition with a new coach again, and I just don't see again enough in the attack. I think they've scored one goal all season long. They've scored one goal in 4 games. They've gotten shut out 3 consecutive games. The attack just looks stale. It looks disjointed. Their coach is a Wilfred Nancy disciple. Yohan Dome is he wants to play beautiful, attractive, build out of the back possession oriented football. And right now they are keeping possession. They're just not doing anything with it.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little bit also of a talent issue. If I was to go out through St. Louis's roster compared to the rest of the rosters in the league, I would put them in the bottom third in terms of overall talent. I see them having a difficult time unless they make some big signings getting out of that rut. But yeah, I'm really glad you brought up AJ. I feel like that is, some really good context and color into what locker rooms are like going through stuff like that. So we just wish him all the best, and I hope St. Louis can get back and rally around him because Gargs talks about it all the time. They've got one of the best fan bases in Major League Soccer. So
Yeah, and I appreciate those Midwest little small market small market teams. We all want to see them do
yeah,
well. And listen, just like Vancouver and LA, they're not going undefeated. And St. Louis and Philly and Columbus, they're not going to not
they're
win
not going to
every game
lose
this
every
year.
game.
They're
Yeah,
not going to lose every game. This league has always been about runs, stretches, like you said. Catch a vein of something. What did you
catch a
say?
vein of form.
A vein of form. I like that. Catch a vein. Everybody's going to catch a vein of form. So the ball starts going into the net. So we'll see what happens. That's the good thing. That's the exciting thing about watching this league is it can be brutal, but these hot teams are going. Some of them have extra fixtures they got to deal with, like we talked about with some of the teams in CCC. And then some of these teams that have rest, they'll take advantage of it. I think everybody's going to be just fine.
Big CCC action tonight, actually. A lot of very important games. But we're not going to talk about that. We'll cover that when the games play out. Gordo, do you want to have some fun? Are we ready to have some fun
Yes,
on this pod? We don't have enough
yes.
fun on this pod. It's because Gargs is
Finally,
always making us not have fun. Let's have some fun, dude.
yes.
So I know you're a big guy. You're a big list guy. I know you are.
I
You've
love
been
this.
you've been wanting to do lists for a while now. So we're gonna do some fun lists. Okay. This takes me back to the last time it was just you and me on an episode when I picked out a bunch of random teammates and threw their picture up and saw if you
Yeah,
could
yeah,
remember their names.
yeah.
That was a great episode. I had a great time.
I did better than you thought. I did better than I
You did
thought
so
too.
much better than I thought, and that's why I want to tip my cap to you, my friend.
Appreciate that.
Those concussions, they didn't really affect your memory on all your teammates. Now,
That's right.
I'm gonna put you under a little bit of a pressure cooker. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a blind ranking of a top 10, and we're gonna throw each other a couple of our favorite teammates. And I don't know who you chose for me. You don't know who I chose for you. Now, it's gonna be a combo of superstars and all-time great teammates. So I have an order that I'm gonna give them to you in, and you just have to decide what's coming next. Is it where do I put this guy? Where do I put that guy? Like this is gonna be tough, dude.
This gives me anxiety.
Good,
This is gonna piss some people off.
good.
And,
Yeah, we'll see
and
where they fall. Let me just
all
put it
right.
this way. They did this with Bradley Wright Phillips the other day in studio. And let's just put it this way. He had me, it was all his old, it was former Red Bull teammates. He had me he had me at like 6 or 7, and it's just so upsetting. Like it
It's
will
hurtful.
affect our friendship.
It's
Okay.
hurtful.
It
Yeah.
is hurtful.
I mean,
So,
yeah.
hey, this is going to be hurtful to a few people. We'll see where you put them. Are you ready? I'm
All right.
going first for
That's
you. All
all
right.
right. I'm going first.
And
All
I
right,
know
great.
that you're not going to be able to remember where you put all these guys because you probably forgot what you had for lunch today. So I will try to keep the list for you and let you know, okay, no, Gordo, you already put so-and-so at number 3. Okay.
Okay.
Here
All
you go.
right.
You ready?
All right. Yep.
First teammate. I'm really proud of this one because this is an all-time guy. Steven Lenhart, top 10. Where is he going? Lenny. He's so upset already because he knows who's
Dude,
coming.
why are you gonna give me him first? Like,
Because it gets better. Lenny's the
okay.
best. Where are you putting him?
Do I have to rank him as a teammate or as a
Go-
friend?
Hey, Gordo, this is your list,
This is
pal.
my thing. Okay.
You like
As a
you
friend, number
you
one, as a
no
teammate,
no no
number
no no
10.
no no no. fine. Do you want to
All
put him at
right.
number one? Because this
Lenny's
is,
Lenny's
I think it's all encompassing. I think it's vibes, quality of player, friendship, whatever you want. But
all right. Lenny is my number one. He takes the number one spot.
Lenny's going number one.
Lenny's going number
That's
one.
honestly, that's a little bit of a curveball.
Everybody knows the Bash brothers had something special.
Wow.
We collided at a very special time in our lives.
That's
And we drove an hour and 15 minutes over the Santa Cruz Mountains to Santa Clara every single morning for like 3 years. And we just have a special bond. That's my
I
guy.
gotta be honest, that's a major curveball. I didn't know you were just gonna make up friendship as this your list. I thought it was gonna be like, oh, like on the field stuff too, whatever. All right, number two, David Beckham.
Oh, Bex. God, I gotta leave some room. I have to leave some room
You're
because
just gonna list everyone in the same order I give them to you,
because
or
I
what?
was gonna put him number two, but I can't put him number two because because
You know
maybe
who
I'm
else is
really bad
coming.
at this. I love my teammates. I'm putting Bex at I think you're gonna give me some other guys that I'm a little closer with, but Bex is gonna be my number five. Hey, listen,
Number five.
Bex was one of the best teammates I ever had. People ask me this all the time. I've told them this, endless times. He was top-notch teammate. Him and I, we played a finishing game at the end of every training for several years. And the guy who lost had to serve
Guy
the
lunch.
winner breakfast every single morning.
Oh, that's
So
great.
me and Bex got tight, and he was always great to me. I'll give him number five.
How was he serving you breakfast, or did he always beat you?
He always pretty much beat me.
Dude, honestly, you're taking this list in a crazy direction, and I really am excited for this next one.
All
All
right.
right, Daniel Gargan.
Gargs.
That was such a disappointed Gargs.
That's not fair. I mean,
It is. You wanted to do this. This is
all
your
right, all right,
idea.
all right.
So come on, man up. Let's go.
I
Someone's
I
gonna have
like.
to go 10.
I'm putting. Yeah, I want Gargs to be 10, to be honest, just to be funny. But I'll try to do this honestly. I'm putting Gargs as shit. Uh, he's going four.
4.
He's going four.
My God. I tell you what, buddy. You have 3 of your top 5 taken, and there are some heavy hitters coming down the line. You are going to
Oh,
upset
dude,
someone.
Gargs and
All
I
right.
we were carpool buddies as well, and we connected. We're obviously
Okay, so it doesn't
still.
matter if you're good at soccer. It's just if you hung out with Gordo a lot.
I'm not doing talent wise. I'm not
I
doing
don't
it
know.
that way, dude. Lenny would be like number 9 talent wise,
This
and
is your
Gargs is
list.
10. Gargs
Typically
is
how
10. I'm doing all-time favorite teammates, people that I connected
Okay.
lifelong friendships with.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Let's see where this next one falls because this is an interesting one. Uh Colorado Rapids days, Tim Howard.
Tim Howard's my guy. Can I put him 3? No, I'm just kidding. No, no.
Everyone's your best friend.
Hey, what can I say, dude? Me and Tim we were the old dogs in Colorado. He's my man, dude. Like, I love him to death. We spent a very limited amount of time together, one season, but it was always great to me. Anytime I went into the national team, he was a guy that was welcomed me with open arms. He is a great teammate. I'm putting him at 8.
8? Ooh, that doesn't really sound like
We had a
he
limited
welcomes you with
time, and
open.
he doesn't respond to my texts anymore, so he's not a
Okay,
lifelong friend,
fair,
So he moves down the list.
fair. Alrighty. Yours truly. This
Dax
guy.
McCarty?
This guy right here. Where am I going? Let's go.
Damn it! I should have put me on your list. Mother,
I
I'm
can't
changing
change
it.
it.
I'm changing it.
And by the way, now that I know you're going pure friendship vibes thing, don't don't like just
This is
placate me
hard.
because I'm sitting right in front of you. All right, put me
This is
where
this
I.
is this
There
is
are
this
some.
is
I tell
very
you
hard.
what, you got some serious heat coming. So
This is another one. You let me literally sleep on your couch when
I
I
sure
was like
did.
38 years old in Chicago when I didn't have a place to live. Like,
Let the
how can
record
I
state
put
it
you?
wasn't just a couch; it was also a very nice bed. You had my whole basement to yourself.
I did, and your family is so nice to me, and your lovely dogs. Like, it was amazing. How could I put you? How could I put you? I've messed this list up.
Yeah, this list is butchered,
Um,
but it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great for socials. I
and
can't
our
wait for people.
banter, and that's another reason I like Gargs, because Gargs and I had banter every morning. Everybody was entertained by it, which you and I had the same thing.
We
Where
did.
did I put Gargs?
You put Gargs at 4.
Fuck, man. Ah,
This is supposed to be fast, by the way.
oh, okay. You're I would put you guys both at 4A, 4B.
That's so no, no, you aren't doing that. So you pick. Where am I going? It has to be a
Um,
free space.
I'm gonna make this interesting, and dude. Honestly, you're my four. Okay, you're my four.
No, 4 is taken.
But I have to put you in the sixth slot. I think you're
That's
gonna come.
crazy. Sam, just make sure you're in BWP Doghouse. Okay, that's fine. That's insane. No, we don't have to. Okay. We're moving on. That's crazy. All right.
I have
Moving
to
on.
fill the top
By the way,
spots.
I thought we were going to be able to do a bunch of these lists. This is going to be the only list we get to today because you're taking so damn long. All right. Next, Mr. Wondolowski.
Oh, Wando, dude, Wando's seven. Can I switch my list?
No,
Wando, wait, who do I have? What do I have left?
you just put Wando at 7 with zero explanation. So
You
there
have
you go.
2, 3, 7.
No, he just put Wando at 7. You have 2,
Oh.
3, 9, 10.
I'm putting Wando at nine.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wando, you hear that?
Wando, I love Wando, but like, what's
But you
Wando
don't love
done
him
for
that
me?
much.
What's
Sure.
what's Wando done for me lately?
Okay, here we go. These are gonna be this is gonna be the best part. This guy's gonna cringe. I can't wait for people to see this. Mr. Gigantic Calves himself, Bastian Schweinsteiger.
Viney, he's one of my favorites. Um, I'm switching. I'm putting you
No!
three, Schweiny on the six. Yes, I can do that. I'm putting you three and Schweiny at the six.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna send him this.
Schweiny, dude. Schweiny took. We talked about this. He called me his sonny boy.
Yeah, you did.
And dude, he was so great to me, dude. What a lovely human being. What a lovely human being. Him and Bex for being such outrageously,
Yeah.
famous
Yeah.
and accomplished everything. We're
Yeah.
just we're just two of the best people of all time. He made me smile every morning by how corny he was. The Roma song that he loved to play,
Yeah.
would talk to all the players. He was great. He's my six.
Okay. All right. Look,
I'm
I'm
sorry that I switched. I'm
I
sorry that
feel
I switched.
so gross that I got retroactively moved up to 3. I actually don't like it. So
It was a bad choice.
you're
I
still in the
wanna fix it.
doghouse. All right,
All right.
you have the number 2 spot, the number 7 spot, and the number 10 spot left. Landy Cakes, Mr. Full Head of Hair himself, Landon Donovan.
Landon was I have two, 7 and 10.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put Landon at two. I'm gonna put Landon at
Ooh.
two. We
Okay.
spent we spent a lot of time together. We spent a
Okay.
lot of years together. Landon was a great teammate. He was a good friend back in the day. And all since I only have two left,
I tell you
I'll
what,
put him at two.
that's bold.
I'm not gonna put him at 7 or 10.
Oh well,
Somebody's gonna get the shaft.
I
Somebody's
really
gonna
can't. I really, producer Sam, we're gonna have to edit this out to where we can send this to the Unfiltered podcast and be like, hey Tim, Landon's number 2 on Gordo's list. You're number 8. Oof, that's tough, buddy. That's tough. All right, you have number 10 and number 7 left. Two
uh,
guys left.
no.
Absolutely all-time teammates, great players, great guys. You probably know who they are, but here we go. Omar Gonzalez.
Omar Gonzalez. You know, as a teammate, I'm happy. I don't know who you're going to bring next, but as a teammate, I'm going to go ahead and say I'm putting Omar at 10.
Oh,
Okay, so
care
when
to
we were
elaborate?
and he'll tell you this when he came in, he was a lot different. I think him and I got closer after his career and after I left. When he was
Mhm.
there, he was young, just got the
Yeah,
first DP contract. He was
for a
kind of like,
defender.
yeah, he was a defender. He was just kind of like this arrogant, young, like I'm making money, and I was jealous because I was making no money. And
There's
so as a teammate,
a little bit of friction there.
yeah, there was a little friction, but
And you guys probably
afterwards,
played each other in training a bunch.
and we did, yes. So we had some going back and forths. We have gotten a lot closer. Like as him maturing, getting older, and post career, I love that guy.
All right. Well, that kind of takes the climactic part of the episode out of it because I didn't think you were going just, oh, these are my best friends list. Okay. I thought this was actually going to be related to soccer as well. So the last guy that I have here probably would be number one if your list was just related to soccer. Keno. Keno's going. Robbie Keane is going in at 7. So how do you think you feel about that? Is that probably
I, I
fair?
like I like Keno at 7.
Okay.
He was always great to me, but listen, nobody he wasn't trying to be a good teammate.
Love
He was,
that.
dude, Keno was not worried about rubbing people the wrong way, but he was a hell of a player, hell of a competitor,
Yeah.
and we just won with him. And you know
Yeah.
what? You need guys in your locker room that aren't worried about being your friend. They're gonna tell you exactly what they're feeling, and he had no problems with that. So
Yeah.
it's not like him and I became best friends. He was always cordial, but he was gonna say what's on his mind. And he MF'd me a few times, and so,
As he probably should have. He was probably
as he
well
should have.
within his right. Yeah.
As I should have. I wasn't up to the standard. And it's all good. He's at 7. I like where he's at.
Do you think that Keno ever went to like Landon and Bex and when he found out the lineup and was like, "All right, Gordo's up top with me." Do you think he ever went like, "Hey, just don't pass the guy this ball right now. Like he's just not good enough."
Probably.
Like
I
if you see Gordo checking to feet, just like play me in behind.
so I don't know if I should say this, but I heard a story, Bruce in 2016, which ended up being, I think, both him and I's last year. We played Colorado in Colorado, and Bruce started me over him because he wasn't in great form. I think he'd just come off an injury,
Yeah.
and Keno and in Keno fashion was not happy. And I heard a couple rumblings of him telling them what he really thought about me starting over him and the
I
quality that I had. So
think it probably went something along the lines of, look, this is like me at Spurs playing in the Premiership and you starting a League Two player over me right now.
oh,
So,
100%. He's like, can you believe this? Like,
yeah.
what is happening? Me
Uh,
at 40% is better than Gordo is at his 100.
dude, that I gotta say, total curveball on this list. You took this completely off the rails in a direction I don't think anyone thought it was gonna go in, and yet I still love it. Your list: 1, Lenny; 2, Landon; 3, yours truly, but I feel gross about it;
It's a little
4,
gross. I apologize.
Gargs; 5, Bex; 6, Basti; 7, Keno; 8, Timmy Howard; 9, Wando; 10, Omar Gonzalez. There you have it. Eat your heart out. All Gordo's best friends. That was the order he saw you guys
I,
in.
I think 10
Gordo,
has been
where
done
would you
dirty
rate
there.
if you had to put Drew Connor into this list? Where would he
Who would
go?
he bump off the list?
Yeah.
Where's Drew Connor going?
Uh, Drew's one of my all-time favorites.
I know.
I
He's probably
would
bumping
bump,
me.
yeah, I would bump. Geez, I'd put him in the top third. I'll just say that.
There you go. Dax is out, Sam. That's a great question. All right, Gordo. I am assuming you are going to reciprocate and throw me 10 players, and I've got to tell everyone out there, I'm a normal
God,
per.
that was hard. I'm
I'm a
so
normal
bad,
person, and I'm gonna do a list based on just soccer quality. I'm gonna
dude. You can't do that.
But that is how these lists are done. That's how I'm doing it. I'm not doing it
That's
based on
not how I
friendship.
built this list.
That's hey, unlucky. I'm going that way.
I wanted to know how you like them as a teammate.
I will bake it into all of that. That will be all encompassing. I will try to navigate this because I don't know what order you're coming in. So let's go. Come on,
I hate
throw it
my
at me.
list now. You don't get to make the rules. All right, here we go.
We make our rules about our own list. Come on.
All right. You want some redemption?
I do.
BWP.
Ooh,
Right out
BWP.
of the gates.
See, this is tough for me because I'm bitter. I'm bitter about where I ended
Yeah,
up on his list.
that's why I asked you.
So I'm if this was based on pure soccer ability, BWP for everything he did at Red Bull, for everything he did for me as a player, BWP, if it was just based on soccer ability, he would be number 3 for me. But because I'm spiteful, because I'm bitter, BWP is going in at number 6. That's it.
Boy,
That's
that's
it.
what we want
It's
to
my
hear.
list. I'm gonna make it how I want to. BWP or
Brett.
6.
All right, next one. Dwayne De Rosario.
Ooh, that's a great one. I love how why I love how special you are, and you know why I'm gonna continue to just do this list because that was never a teammate of mine. You're just so special. You're the
Oh,
most
did you
special
get
boy.
traded for him?
We got
You get
traded for each
traded
other,
for
you
him.
dunce.
That's
You,
classic. Dude, I
you.
was
That's
looking up these rosters and they had you both on there. I was like, oh, okay,
classic
good.
Gordo. We got traded for each other in 2011. Don't change it now. You can't change it
Okay.
now.
All
So
right.
that
Fair
makes
enough.
my job significantly easier because I wasn't teammates with him. D-Row's going in at 10. If it was based on just soccer ability, D-Row would be up there. But again, not a teammate of mine. Gordo, you are the most special person on the planet. I don't care what anyone says. There is not anyone more special than you. So
That is,
BWP
yeah.
6, D-Row, you're at 10. Sorry, pal. We were never teammates. If we were, you'd probably be much higher.
All right. I'm not sure if you were teammates with this guy, obviously, but Brad Guzan.
I was teammates with El Guzano. Oh God, this is the first really tricky one. Brad Guzan is a tremendous human being. He's a great dude, excellent banter, good friend of mine. One of the only reasons that I stayed sane during my last year of my career in Atlanta. He was like my North Star. You know how I was for you in Chicago,
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's how Brad was for me. So but I promised myself I would make this about soccer too. One of the best goalkeepers in U.S. men's soccer history. Um, I played with him on the tail end of his career, but I tell you what, that performance against Inter Miami in the playoffs, I will never, ever forget that performance. Brad Guzan is going in at number 3 for me.
Number 3. Is that the performance where he got pushed into the
It
net?
sure is. And that's one of
Okay.
my all-time favorite soccer memories from my pro career. So that's also what pushes him up there.
All right. Taking a number 3 spot. And where did BWP go? 6?
6.
All right. I thought I was gonna pull on your. I'm not gonna say that one. All right. Your other 360 mate. You knew I'm gonna put him in there.
I
Sasha
did.
question. You've been
Sasha
you've been asked
question.
this so many times. It's not
I
even fair
haven't. I
anymore.
haven't. I've
Okay.
actually never done a list with in this way. Sasha question, top guy, top footballer, one of the best number 10s I ever played with. We didn't play together a ton. We only played together 2 years, but he is one of the better players I've ever played with in my career. I also played with some really good players. I don't know who else you have coming down the pike. Sasha jumps in over BWP at number 5.
Let's go. Let's go Breck Shea.
Breck Shea. Oh, my Breck, my sweet, sweet Breck. I didn't think about Breck, man. My Dallas days. Whew, what a blur. Um, if this was if I was doing this list based off the Gordo Hui mind twisting ranking that he did, Breck would probably be number 1. That's how much I love my little
I
Dane
know
Breck
you
and
do. That's
Shea.
why I put him on there. That's
He
why I
is
put him on.
he's just genuinely one of the most unique personalities I've ever come across in not just in my career, in my life. But he is so authentic to himself. I wish more people would be like Breck Shea. But since it's also based on soccer and friendship and teammate, Breck is going. That's tough. Breck's going in at number four. Breck is
Number
number four for
four.
me.
All right.
Yeah.
So friendship, it steers
I'm
you.
baking it in there.
It steers
You've
you.
affected it a little bit, but let's not forget Breck in his day before he went to England, before he had all his injuries. We're talking about like an
Is better
MVP.
than BWP and Sasha. That's what you're saying. He
I'm
was
not
better.
saying that. I'm not
That you
saying
did.
that. I'm
Your
not saying
list
that.
is.
What I am saying is that Breck was an MVP candidate at like 21 years old, which
He was.
that does not happen very often in Major League Soccer. So give me Breck at
All right.
four.
All right. Bracket four. Let's go Tim Cahill.
Tim Cahill. Tim Cahill. He was a very good player. Honestly, if this list was just heading ability, Tim Cahill was going in at number one. And Tim was a great dude. When he first got to Red Bull, he took us out to dinner a few times, bought us some drinks, took the young guys under his wings a few times. Towards the end of his time at Red Bull, he was doing a lot of stuff with the Australian national team. So I think he kind of like lost a little bit of the passion for Red Bull that he had when he first got there. Maybe was skewed a little bit more towards the Socceroos. He was like, going to the World Cup, and he was their all-time leading goal scorer, and he had so much going on with Australia, and I don't think his time at Red Bull ended maybe the way he wanted it to. But Tim was a good dude. I had a great relationship with him. But for the sake of this list, I got to throw Tim in at number nine.
Number nine.
Number nine for Tim Cahill.
Wow. Walker Zimmerman.
Oh, buddy. Pulling at my heartstrings here. Walker's a top dude, one of my good buddies, still in the league, still playing at a very high level. What do I have available? 2, 3, 7, 8.
Yep.
Is that what I've got left? We got 4 left,
Yeah.
Gordo?
Yep.
2, 3, 7, 8. Man, this is where you have to get so. I have to start judging who you're bringing down the line because it's hard for me to know. Walker is the best, one of the best defenders in MLS history. And if I was just going off soccer ability, but now that I'm baking in all these other things that you're skewing my judgment on, God, he would be perfect for like the top middle of this list. I love you, Walks. I got to throw you in at 7. I got to save those real top
saving
spots
it.
for
Damn, that
what
is
else is coming.
hurtful. Walker.
I
That's
Walker
hurtful.
Walker knows how I feel about him.
All right, we're going Thierry Henry.
Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry is number one. And I'm glad that you just didn't just dangle him out there and then not use him at all, because I was saving it for either Thierry or someone else that you might throw out there. I don't know. Dude, honestly, in the same ways that like Keno would like hold you accountable and tell you how it is. Thierry was the same way. But when he respected you as a player and when you got on his good side, he would go above and beyond for you. And some of the things I've spoken about in the past that Thierry did for me in my career, and the way that he helped me, and the cool stuff that he did off the field, taking me to London with him, giving me courtside seats to the Knicks games, inviting me over to his NYC penthouse to watch Champions League with him. Just like I genuinely felt like we had connected as friends. But then you add in the fact that he was one of the best players of all time, and he just happened to play on my team, was pretty cool. Thierry's number one.
That's really cool. All right, we're going. We got 2 left. We're going Drew Connor.
Drewby!
Drew's getting double shout out.
Drewby!
Stole it from me.
Yeah, Drew is a journeyman through and through. We love Drew. There's zero question about where Drewby's going. Actually, there is, because I don't know who you have last, coming for me last. Drew's going to squeeze in at number 8. And if this was just pure vibes, he would be in the top 2 or 3. But I'm also basing this on soccer, which, by the way, Drew, super underrated player. One of the best slide tacklers in the history of Major League Soccer. Okay.
Oh yeah.
You can, and by the way, you can clip that. Literally, not one player I played with was better at slide tackling than Drew Connor. It probably had to do with the fact that he had cankles majority of his career. And when you have cankles, you cover there's more blockage when you go to slide, right? The
Oh yeah.
ball.
There's
Um,
only one guy that was better than him, and it was Jason Hernandez. There's nobody that has more
Jay
blocks
Hernandez.
than Jay Hernandez. There's
Drew
nobody.
Connor, still a top three slide tackler, Major League
Top
Soccer
three.
history,
Top
and
three.
a damn good player when he got chances to play. He didn't get a ton of chances under Pano. He probably deserved more. Drewby, I love you. You're going at number 8.
And last, you saved it nicely for Schweini, our boy.
Slide him right in there. Top 2. I'm glad. That's where you got to maybe split them up, Gordo. You know, when you start doing these lists a little bit more, that you'll split those up a little bit better. Yeah, Basti. I mean, it goes without saying that I think I was 30, maybe 29 or 30 at the time when Basti and I became teammates, and I actually learned so much from him, and I think I
Yeah.
actually got better in my like low 30s because I was teammates with him. And because even when we would have those chats, Gordo, you know, in the hot tub or even on the board, he would be like, "Hey, come over here. What do you think about this?" And we would be going through a tactical session on the board for like 15 minutes before training.
He's so
And I'm like,
smart.
"Basti, I'm like, I just want to play 5v2. It's Tuesday. We don't play till Saturday." But he was
Yeah.
always thinking about the game and just he really helped me, I think, get better as a player. So I'm glad that I saved the top 2 spots for him and Thierry because they had a profound effect on my career. But I'll tell you what, bud, that was a good little exercise. You really threw me for a curveball. I didn't know you were just going hand holding best friends list. I thought you
I
were
didn't
going.
know. I thought it was like teammate,
Hey,
not
you
like
know
best
what?
players.
Beauty's in
When
the.
they do that player thing, it's like not your teammates. They just say, "Hey, rank these players."
Sure.
You know,
Hey,
we're doing teammates means more than talent to
it's
me.
really
So
impressive. Hey, you think that me, Gargs, and Steven Lenhart were better players than Robbie Keane, Bastian Schweinsteiger, Tim Howard, Chris Wondolowski, and Omar Gonzalez. That's essentially what I take from this.
but I screwed myself because I was talking about emotional lists, and now
You
I've
sure
pissed
were.
off a bunch of
You
people.
were so emotional. It's so cute. You're the cutest. Dude, honestly, great episode. We had some other stuff we got to do. I didn't know that you were going to spend 20 minutes talking about how much you love and care about all these different people. So
Yeah, it's
we're
my
going to,
bad. I'm not good at this. I gotta
no,
get
we're
better.
going to do, look, it's good. This is the first episode, Gordo, where I actually think you said more words than I did, which is a miracle. Honestly, I never thought I would see the day. Honestly, dude, we should do this more. I think people would love this more. Gargs can come back once a month, maybe. I mean, I don't. That's probably what he would prefer,
He
seeing
can
as
give us a list.
he could probably give us a list. He'll be happy with where he ended up on your list. So I wasn't teammates with him, and I'm so glad that you put a player on there that was never a teammate of mine. That just makes me that just makes me so happy. Dude, great
Yeah.
episode. Keep an eye on CONCACAF Champions Cup tonight and MLS at the weekend. Maybe we'll be back to full strength with Gargs if he decides to join us next week. I don't know. But this was a fun episode. It always is with me and Gordofsky. Love you, buddy. Sam, producer Sam, chimed in a few times. She will have these lists out, and we'll see what everyone thinks. We'll chop it up next week. Journeyman, appreciate you. See you next time.